But Apple has actually done something uncharacteristic today, yesterday, I don't know when I saw the news, which is come out outside of an event, outside of a press release, and I don't even know if he was supposed to do this in this particular interview or whatever, but basically Greg Joswiak, who goes by Jaws whenever they're doing those things, and you always love that. Like, send it over to you, Jaws, which is, that's Tim Cook that does that. He said, obviously, we'll have to comply with the EU's new USB-C rules, but then he went on to criticize them for e-waste. He said, but think of all the lightning. We got a billion lightning cables out there. People love lightning, which obviously they don't, but they started with the power bricks, and they said, you already have those, and they liked the compromise, which there is a case to be made. They liked the compromise of having the dual system where the cable is interchangeable, and then the brick will have the USB-C on it. You know what I'm saying, Will?
Yeah.
And they said, who cares what the connector on the phone is? Because they've already got those cables. And I suppose there's also probably accessories out there that over the last, whatever, decade have used that particular port. But it doesn't matter because the EU came in and they said, Apple has given his most direct confirmation yet that a USB-C equipped iPhone will happen now that the European Union is mandating that all phones sold in its member countries use the connector if they have a physical charger. When asked by the Wall Street Journal's Joanna Stern if the company would replace Lightning, Apple's senior VP of worldwide marketing, Greg Joswiak, answered by saying, obviously we'll have to comply, we have no choice. Now, that's not exactly like announcing that you're going to do it. It's kind of like, fine, jeez. We'll do it. Fine. But it's not like being forthright about it.
And not really confident either.
But it seems that everyone is interpreting this as the end of Lightning. R.I.P. Lightning. And listen, I think it's becoming increasingly weird to keep shipping these Lightning devices. These are absolute state-of-the-art marvels of engineering, and you've got this old connector on it. It just feels a bit bizarre, especially considering the fact that the laptops and the iPads and everywhere else the transition took place for of course, all the improved characteristics of a Type-C. What a Type-C connector offers. Now, they could comply in other ways, right? They say, of course, we're going to have to comply. Well, okay, what does comply mean? There were rumors of the portless phone. We don't know. People don't seem to think that's going to happen at this point. But maybe there's maybe there's an adapter. I don't know. But it is the closest we've come yet to acknowledgement. And Apple spent a lot of money to try to avoid this, by the way. But they believe that they had the better plan. And he criticized governments getting involved in places. He used an example in the interview of hearing aid compatibility. Okay. And how the government completely screwed it up and nothing ever worked, and they came up with their own made-for-iPhone program, which fixed everything. So essentially, he basically sounded like Kanye West, which is just yay. He's yay now. How dare you say his other name? He basically sounded like yay in the sense that he's like, nobody can do what we do. Like, we know what's right for everybody, not the government. We're Apple, and I like to believe. I don't know. His words were close to this, but I like to believe our engineers know better than the government does. Like more or less. And is he wrong?
So the iPhone 15 will have Type-C, I guess.
I apologize for the EA reference. I was listening to the Lex Friedman.
Sure, yeah.
Were you listening to the Lex Friedman or no?
I'm an hour in, so. I'm confused.
Yeah, well, wait a sec. But you make it sound like you're going to complete the rest of it.
I want to. I want to understand what he's trying to say.
You're not going to understand anything. What are you talking about? You can't be doing that.
Well, I want to put an effort to...
Yeah.
I mean, he seems to be very conflicted, and as an artist...
Is there an overexposure thing going on now, too, where you just say a certain number of words in public and it all gets jumbled up at a certain point? I don't know.
Well, it gets lost because he's just going on every single podcast or show.
Yeah.
People asking him to do.
Yeah, you were a big Yay guy. You were Mr. Yay around here.
Yeah.
You were influenced.
Sure.
You were walking around with the polo shirt and the backpack at one point.
Yeah, and then went to grunge look.
You've done it all. You've done it all, Will.
Yeah.
And you've been along for that ride, and now you got to question yourself now.
Yeah, my whole life was dedicated around Yay. And now it's over.
Oh, man. Well,
Yay train.
I don't know. Hopefully it all gets sorted out.
I hope so, man. He seems to be going through some real crazy stuff. Good luck to him.
Hey, stop!
Huh?
Don't say don't you dare say crazy. Will you're starting to sound like the media over there. You gotta be careful.
Yeah, define crazy. Have you listened to it?
The Lex Friedman, yeah. Hey, the Lex Friedman was probably
The whole thing.
the most listenable of the interviews. I don't know. I didn't listen to all of them, but
Yeah.
I I listened to his podcast, and I thought, like, for what you can do with it, I guess we're at a point now where it's tough because all these podcasts, he's going on these shows, and then it's like repetitive because it's the interviewer wants to push back on the comments that have been made, which is their mandate because they're like, okay, you're coming on my platform. I know my people are going to expect my listeners that there's a responsibility there to have some kind of a mandate, but then it ends up being a lot of rehashing of
And it gets
weird, like, sort of apology, not apology.
It gets him riled up,
Yeah.
especially on the phone.
The Piers Morgan one?
Yeah, when it's not like face to face, in person.
Well, it goes to show you, right? How these interfaces cause stress and friction. Like, if you tell me to go on the phone, I'm so irritated.
Yeah.
You tell
Imagine doing this show on the phone.
That's what I'm saying.
webcam?
I wouldn't bother.
Yeah.
I don't think so because it's like that slight difference and bit of lag. And obviously everyone's doing their best and some people don't have a choice. Some people are getting a lot of things done virtually just because of the nature of whatever type of work they're doing. But I think in person is still the most, obviously, dynamic.
I mean, it's more work, but
Anyway, quick follow-up because I realize we haven't done this show in a while. But yeah, he's been dropped by everybody, including Adidas now. So there's that. Adidas, Balenciaga has cut ties, Gap, Def Jam. Also his talent representation, which I think is CAA at the moment.
yeah.
So I guess that's where we stand right now. There's really not much to say here.
It's just all
there's nothing to say here.
It's
It's just
sad.
everything is dropped, and I don't know what the next steps are. And there are still people involved. There is still this family of his that he keeps talking about. There's still kids in the mix, and I presume courts in the future as far as visitation and things like that. It's all very tough situation, Will.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna go to USB Type-C, and this is the greatest confirmation you're going to get.
Is there any benefit to Lightning?
Yeah, just existing compatibility if you happen to have accessories that use it, or if you happen to own 10 Lightning cables.
Okay. I mean, the only thing that I can think of is maybe that it's just a little bit smaller
No, that's
than
insane.
Type-C.
That's insane. Is it barely any smaller? Get out of here. That's insane.
It's something, man.
That's insane.
I'm telling you.